said, put the bunny back in the box.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hold Up, the show where we dive deep inside your childhood nostalgia. And this month, pull the action movies from your past out and see if they truly hold up. I'm Hold Up today with Andrew to my left and Kyle again via the non-sponsored Hot Take Hotline.
It's actually Quiznos Hot Take Hotline.
Hey, can you both be quiet for a second?
I'm so sorry.
Just shut the fuck up for a bit, all right?
You're
You're
really
obnoxious. Really hurting the eardrums today. Just chill the fuck out, both of you.
Yeah, I'm real sorry. Did you have something you want to say that's productive?
Christ in a cartoon, my God.
That's right. We watched Con Air, everybody, and that's why Andrew's in a foul mood right now, I'm assuming, right?
No. Debt collectors are getting to me. So I got like 10.
All the parking tickets that you have?
That and medical bills and other things, so it's piling on.
I believe it.
Yeah.
The medical bills, though, that's from all the stuff you shoved up your anus, right?
Yeah. We don't have to get into that.
Those are self-inflicted wounds.
But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
It is not.
That's our targeted
Indeed,
audience. It's our targeted audience, so let's stick to that.
If your children are listening, please send them out of the room.
If your children are listening, fuck you.
You're an awful parent if your children's listening to this.
Yeah.
Well, and also, you're listening to this, and I don't know who wants to listen to this garble for that long either, but we were supposed to have George with us today, but he had a scheduling conflict. He will be on the next episode, which I think we're doing Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, joy.
Yeah. It's gonna be a trip.
Kyle's very excited about that.
Kyle doesn't know what he's talking about.
Wonderful.
So
I really don't. All I know is that if you work on an oil rig, that directly correlates to interstellar travel and intercepting asteroids.
But we'll get into that next week. Kyle, before we get started today, I want you to tell us about your mood level using prison terms.
Oh.
This will be cute.
Oh. So I just got botulism from prison wine brewed with foul Gatorade and toilet bowl water.
Wow, you're doing well. My God.
Oh, God.
It's good.
This is the best you've ever done. Your 30s are looking way up.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I did a bunch of spitting and shitting, and I got botulism, damn it.
Botulism.
Oh, God.
I wish I had botulism with you. I really do.
I do, too.
We
That
could
way
share that
we could
pain
share.
together.
We could bond over it.
Yeah.
You know what gave me botulism is Nick Cage's accent in Con Air. Well,
is it a direct? Does that like culturally offend you, Chase?
a little bit.
It should.
We'll get into that. So we watched Con Air, a 1997 classic,
June 6th,
which is 2 days after my birthday. My 6th birthday.
It's 2 days after my birthday.
Everyone
It's 2 days after my birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday to me in Con Air. Also takes place in Alabama, but we'll get to that. I guess some of it. Yeah, it is a big LOL for that community. But, Kyle, I'm going to start with you. What do you remember about Con Air?
This is another USA movie, dude.
Yep, that's what I told Chase. Yep.
On USA, and it was just on in the background. Lots of those dubbed over fucking like, oh, shoot. Oh, you mother fudger. Or like just some completely different phrase. But this one was one that I was actually like tuned in with because it was real enough. The acting was pretty good in most of it.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Exactly. You got some high-end actors, too.
It's believable. And yeah, the cast in this, when I was a kid, did not appreciate it now. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a star-studded cast right there.
That was half of watching it as an adult, was being like, holy shit, he's in it, too? John Malkovich?
Right?
Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi?
And then you got...
Steve
Buscemi.
Bruschetta?
Steve Bruschetta. Steve Bruschetta.
He's from now known as Steve Bruschetta. Kyle, did you ever see this on VHS when you were a kid?
No, it was only on USA. This I would never be allowed to rent this or buy it because it was just, filthy. It's a filthy movie.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
This was one where I would like be in the basement and like I was like 10, 11, 12 building Legos.
It was like on like a Saturday night, like 10:30 p.m. You know,
it's just one of those movies, like entertaining. Didn't really understand all of it because they cut large portions of it out, obviously, for TV.
held this in like the same like echelon or tier as like Independence Day. It's the same setup, the same, mantra around it. It was one of those USA, TNT, AMC movies that you saw.
Yeah.
You didn't turn it off because it was entertaining and it pulled you in, even though it was kind of a guilty pleasure.
Did you have any childhood to this?
It's the same thing as Kyle. It'd be like one of those things that was on cable at 10 on a Friday or Saturday night, and we were playing Game Boy or Legos, and it was on, and you kept it on in the background, and you were distracted, with it being on,
exactly
and then you stop playing your Legos, your Game Boy, put it down, and you finish the movie like 3/4 the way through, and you still didn't know exactly what transpired, but you were into it.
The action set pieces really got you there.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. They're great.
I looped this movie in with Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah, and it's written by the same guy too. It was written by Scott Rosenberg, who had a lot of different action movies he wrote. I know he did Gone in 60 Seconds. Do you know anything else he did?
Let's check here. Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh, no.
Oh, he did Up.
Sure.
Yeah, a major writer for Pixar.
Yeah. He wrote Kangaroo Jack.
Great. Big time movie.
Cool.
That may be one
Another
we
movie
have
that
to...
takes place in the desert. Nice.
I think this is a sequel to Con Air.
Honestly.
But I chalked this whole episode up to my brother Brian and my cousin Zach, because this was a movie that they watched on VHS when they came and visited my grandmother during the summers, and they would watch it in the basement, and I would just catch all the glimpses from that. And that's all I remember from this movie is kind of watching from the distance and seeing all the action set pieces of this, because they watched it many a times, and that's the staple that I get from this movie. And what I remember is it being like, oh, that's what the older kids were watching at the time. This would be cool to watch one day. And here we are as 30-year-old adults watching this movie.
I just vividly remember the ending of him, that burning mess at the resort casino, and he has that wet bunny, and he just...
Dirty-ass bunny.
Just looks disheveled. And yeah, that ending is still seared into my brain from when I was younger.
One of my biggest memories of this is the VHS box art. It has Nicolas Cage, John Malkovich, and Cusack on it, and their faces are above the plane, and the plane's just exploding with a bunch of fire. And then there's the Con Air logo at the top.
That about sums it up. That's what they used for the trailer on USA and TNT.
Yep.
Yeah, but I just remember the VHS box art. Every time we went to, I think we were going to Blockbuster a lot at the time, but every time we went to Blockbuster, I just remember that VHS art. It was really cool as a kid to see. You're like, wow, what happens there? And it turns out it's just explosion after explosion.
Yeah, it's almost a Michael Bay film.
Yeah, it literally. But I mean, the 90s were, especially at this time in the 90s, they were just resurrecting those 80s action films and just going to level 11.
They were doing 80s action style based on Die Hard. That's how influential Die Hard was. So all I was listening to and watching this movie was poor man's Die Hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and they gave the stakes to everything was just over the top too. It's like, how can we take Die Hard and push it to the next level? Was these late 90s movies? You can put them all in a bucket. You can throw Demolition Man in there, even though Demolition Man was a little earlier, and they were still trying to hold on to tongue-in-cheek kind of 80s stuff. This just went into we don't give a fuck. We're doing all action all the time.
We're going to follow the same script, the same formula, whether you like it or not.
Every scene has an explosion. The camera whips around here's one character, bam, another character, bam, a lot of exposition.
We're going to have generic metal guitar licks playing almost the entire time.
Yeah. And then we'll do something different every time, like Trisha Yearwood to start the movie. But
I'd be interested to know, especially my film friends out there, Derek, Jamie, Mac, how long do you think it took before the editor killed himself?
Okay, we're going to tag you guys in this little clip right here. Derek, Jamie, let us know a timeline. Do we have an over-under on days?
I wouldn't say days. Let's say months.
Okay.
I would say.
Do you think one of them lasted days and then they got another one in and he lasted maybe a month?
I'm going to leave this to Andrew, the better.
I was going to put the line at 30 days.
30 days.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'm going to say slightly over.
I'm going to say over too, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 25, 24 or something like that too.
Yeah, there's so many quick cuts in this movie.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
The editing probably took longer than anything on this movie. It probably took longer than all the effects and everything. So yeah, Derek, Jamie, let us know how long you think it took before the editor decided to jump out of the skyscraper he was editing this movie in.
Sorry, Chase, you have that wrong. Before he left the one-level studio he was working at in California and ran in traffic.
Let us know. So before we start this movie is quote unquote based on a true story. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Not true events.
Yeah, it says that and it's not. There's no event like this in history, but it is based off the actual Justice Prisoner and Alien Transport System, also nicknamed Con Air.
Oh,
and
wow.
so they just took a real life organization or real life transport and turned it into over the top Hollywood action movie, as one does in the 90s.
Still more realistic than Demolition Man.
Yeah. This movie definitely is not true at all. I always thought that's just so asinine to throw out. This is based on true events, and there's no such thing. But,
I mean, it kind of plays into the ridiculousness of it all. So why not? Why not embellish that little factoid, if you will?
put it on the VHS box, though.
Yeah.
Go all in on it. Before we get started, what kind of numbers were we flying into here, Andrew?
Just, for a safe measure, remind me of when this was released.
97?
1996.
Thank you, Chase. What date?
June 6th.
Yep, 2 days after.
My birthday.
No one cares. So opening week, domestic opening was a cool 24 million.
What was the budget of this movie?
75 million.
Okay.
It's a good amount, but
Opened at 24.
it opened at 24 that first week. So you're just a third of a way, essentially, from...
That's a good start.
It's a great start. Domestic altogether, 101 million and some change. International, 123 million and some change. And worldwide altogether, roughly 225 million.
Woo!
So they made
How
it
much
back.
did it cost to make it?
75. Yeah. So
Let's go.
Yeah, they got it back and then some. So
Yes.
very successful.
Very
Incredibly
successful movie.
successful.
Yes. Gretchen even mentioned, she was like, I'm surprised this wasn't turned into a universal experience.
I mean, honestly, it fits that vibe.
Hey, everybody, step in line. Get ready for a cavity search.
Waterworld, they could have done some plane ride. I don't know how they would have made it happen. But
No, it's just the prison part. It's like they throw you in a cell and they say you got 30 minutes to escape or you actually go to prison.
escape rooms
All right.
are real. So
Who's ready for the universal sex predator experience?
Hop in. You got to wait
with
in line.
famous Johnny 23.
It's got 90-minute wait time. Anyway, are we ready to get started?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Andrew, we're going to open with a bang on this one. Where does this movie start and take place?
Well, it starts in your home state,
My home state.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Roll damn tide, baby.
But it takes place in Mobile. I want to make a preference there on that
Hey,
because
Chase, can I just go ahead and cut you off? Nobody knows where that is. Explain.
everyone should know where Mobile
People know where
is.
Mobile is.
Yeah, it's the home of
I have
Mardi
no
Gras.
idea where Mobile is.
That's the
I don't care.
south end on the Gulf.
Right on the Gulf.
Not far from the Panhandle.
Yeah, not far from Pensacola.
Yeah. That's Kyle. I guess Kyle's just the dumb one here.
Yeah.
Mobile's a
New
very
Orleans just
famous
stole
port
it from
city.
us.
But anyways, it opens with this dude in military garb walking into some bar.
With the song of our generation playing in the background.
Song of Our Generation, How Do I Live by Trisha Yearwood, not Leanne Rimes.
Yes,
Trisha Yearwood.
that was the one thing. When I was watching this, I looked at Blair and I was like, oh, yeah, that's Trisha Yearwood. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that might be Leanne Rimes. And then I thought it was Leanne Rimes. And then you said it was Leanne Rimes. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't know why I thought Trisha Yearwood. Turns out it's Trisha Yearwood. Turns out Leanne Rimes and Trisha Yearwood covered the same song at the same time, released at the same moment in
I don't
time.
think it was a cover.
It is a cover from 1983.
I looked it up. They said it was written for this movie.
It may have been changed, but it is
Okay.
it is a cover, and it came from a song called "How Am I Supposed to Live
That's
Without
fair.
You" from 1983.
That's fair.
So it is.
So they just remade it for this.
Yes.
right, and they
and-
may have rewrote some of the lyrics or something.
I
like
think
that.
that's what it was. But they also didn't want Leanne Rimes to do it because she was too young. She was 14 years old when this song came out for her and Trisha. But they had Trisha do a recording because, she was older and more mature, even though Leanne Rimes did not sound like a 14-year-old. But they both released the song together separately and both charted and both were hugely successful. So fun little factoid
weird.
about that song.
So you could be right.
You could be right.
Yeah, either way.
But in this movie, it is the Trisha Yearwood version.
It is loud. They
so
play this
loud.
music so loud, and it is so jarring because it does not fit what you're about to watch, see, and do.
No.
And they're trying to make it humanistic. But anyway, we're introduced to Nick Cage.
He's in military uniform. He seemingly just got back from assignment or whatever.
And we should take a moment to talk about Nick Cage's popularity at this time. I think
he was
it's
big.
a very nostalgic
boy.
moment.
Yeah.
Kyle, can
Almost
you-
as big as his delts.
he was jacked
Fucking
in this
ripped.
movie.
He was
Dude.
fucking jacked.
And I was like, Nick, where did you come from? And
You're like, oh, Nick.
Take me, Nick.
Like, I was smitten a little bit here until
No,
he
this was
started
a
talking.
big time. This was well, hey, be careful now, Chase. This was right after, like, I don't know, less than 10 years after Raising Arizona.
He had just done Face Off.
Yes.
Gone in 60 Seconds,
Gone
I
in 60
think.
Seconds
So-
was 2002.
Didn't he do the Rock? Did he do the
2000.
Rock?
The Rock. That
Yeah.
that's the one. So he was
Such a good movie.
He hadn't won his Oscar yet, but it wasn't like it was within that year. Yeah, I mean, he was a huge
Big
fucking
guy.
star.
and he's kind of seeing that renaissance from the 90s again, because I remember
Yeah.
he was a big star then, but he was always like a ridiculous big star that everyone was talking about. And one of my favorites that people forget about is Vampire's Kiss from the 80s.
I mean, those were Vampire's Kiss and Raising Arizona were both in the 80s,
Yeah.
so he was established.
And he also did, what was it, the Red Rock movie? Not the
Red Rock West.
Red Rock West.
Yeah.
He also did Red Rock West, which is, if anyone hasn't seen Red Rock West, it is one of his better movies. Go out there and watch that one. And it has Dennis Hopper in it
what's that
going
one
crazy.
about?
It's the one where
It's fascinating.
this guy comes into town and they think he's an assassin and they hire
hired
him.
assassin,
They
yeah.
think he's a hired assassin,
Oh,
and he
yes,
tries
yes.
to. And it's just like a series of unfortunate events that happen to these people in this small town, and it's a bunch of people trying to kill each other. And it's really funny, and Dennis Hopper's in it, and you know how Dennis Hopper is with his like characters. He goes over the top too. So it's like Nick Cage, Dennis Hopper. You can't go wrong. But we have a big star, Nick Cage, at this point, a big action star.
And
so.
he is just getting off duty. He's back from assignment for wherever he was.
Rangers
He was a
lead the
U.S.
way.
Ranger.
Okay.
So this is not how the movie starts. The movie starts with like a U.S. Army like nut fest.
Does it?
It does the whole like Rangers lead the way kind of thing.
Yep.
Like a quick montage, basically establishing Nick Cage as this badass Army Ranger. And then we hit Trisha Yearwood, and that song just is so jarring. And then you see him get home to Mobile, Alabama.
It's not obvious that it's Mobile, though.
They said it they had a little
Did they
title
really?
card. Yeah, they had a little title card that says Mobile at the bottom.
I missed that completely,
Yeah.
too. But
And so he gets home to Mobile, Alabama, and he's meeting up with his wife at
a
the time,
bar.
At a bar.
because she's a bartender.
And then we start hearing Nick Cage talk.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he
Hey,
has the worst Southern accent I've ever heard put to film.
it is pretty disgraceful. This is one of those things that you just have to surrender to and accept.
And it's like,
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It sounded fine to me because all people from the South sound the same. So
Okay, Kyle.
it's and one thing is he goes a little too hard with it. Like I told Andrew, like, why didn't he use his Raising Arizona accent? Because that's more Alabamian than what he put on screen in this one.
He was
because-
trying to do like a Forrest Gump impression.
which is not an Alabama
was.
accent. That is a Panhandle, Florida accent. As someone from the state with an accent, that is not an Alabama
Now,
accent.
let me ask you this. Mobile accent compared to Panhandle accent. What is
It can be a little Cajun-y, like in Mobile, but it is like that molasses, almost southern Georgia kind of accent is what I hear. But it's Mobile's Mobile. Mobile's a bigger port town, so you do get people from all over the Gulf coming through. So there's no established Mobile accent there. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellow Alabamians, but I don't think I am. But anyway, we get bad Southern accent. Nick Cage is with his wife.
And he's coming back from wherever he was, and he goes and meets her at a bar. And, you know, it's implied that...
And he's wearing his, like, dress nines on.
Yeah, it's implied that his wife is pregnant, and, you know, they do a little zoom in of her, you know, navel region, and she does not look pregnant whatsoever.
No.
I thought that was so funny.
She's newly pregnant, Andrew?
I guess, but like...
I don't know when that would have happened.
You would think for visuals they would have put on...
If I'm Nick Cage, I want a paternity test.
If you think for visuals, they would have put on, you know, the pregnant belly, even just like a small little bump, just for, you know, the aesthetics in that regard. But regardless, they're meeting at a bar and they're talking, and they clearly haven't seen each other for a minute. Very much in love. And we switch over to these trash can humans over at the bar, just drinking like Miller Lite. But man, I would give to have a piece of her.
Now that, my friends, is an Alabama person. He was the most authentic human in the movie. He's just talking like this mad shit right next to him and his wife, trying to like coerce her, I guess, into like...
Because that's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. You're watching a husband-wife combo dancing, and you just go over there and start talking about how hot she is. I'm sure she's just going to leave her husband immediately.
And they see a dude
that's
in
how it works.
military, you know, regalia.
Which,
like,
why is he wearing it still? But
whatever, you know, it
Felix's bar on like the Mobile Bayou.
clearly shows that, you know, he's a military man. But that doesn't stop these three hooligans from coming up and approaching him and her and being aggressive and hitting on her while they're embraced.
But the fun thing too is she does look at him and says, "You're not that person anymore." So we have to establish
He's got a dark side
he's
that
got
we
a
don't
dark
know
side
about.
that, ooh, watch out, Nick
Uh-oh.
Cage. And he's a ranger too. He could kill somebody with a napkin if he wanted to.
Well, let's just go ahead and get there then, because this all transpires outside when they're about to leave. It's just raining, and it's just so dynamic outside.
It was a quick downpour, though, because I remember the sun was setting when he first walked in.
It was
Yeah.
a beautiful
It
sunset.
looked like a lovely day
But
on
that's
the
Mobile.
All of a sudden, these guys were in the bar, come up to him and his wife, and he just like trying to get in his car, but they entice him into his fight. And after that, he handily defeats all of them.
Beats
And then
the
with
shit
one-
out of him.
But and they jump him too. They jump him. He is leaving with his wife, and they jump him.
You would think that people wouldn't jump a man in a military uniform
But-
outside of a bar
Yeah.
because they want
An
to
Army
fuck his
Ranger.
wife. I mean, think of
But
the
instead-
absurdity of that.
It's so dumb.
But I will say the least believable part of the scene is the whole catalyst for the entire movie, his trajectory. He ends the fight with the last man, when he instigates it, with a swift, open-handed palm to the face region, question mark?
Under
and
the
he just goes-
he hits him under the nose. Yeah.
Yeah, he pushes
And he goes, "Ugh," and then falls to the ground, and then a police officer comes over and goes, "Well, this man's dead."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Cameron,
That'll do it.
Cameron, this man's dead, because it's based on that nose palm strike that it can be deadly. You can take the bone in the nose and hit the part of the brain. It takes so much force to do, but they did used to train Green Berets to do that. It is a deadly strike. It
Hell
can
yeah.
be. It can cause a lot of hemorrhaging in the brain.
I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know. We'll see.
Like I said, you have to be specially trained to do that. I don't think Army Rangers would know how to do that. It does a lot of damage because of where you're hitting, but I don't know how you could kill them.
This is another thing that we just kind of have to surrender to and accept in this movie.
But
You got his accent. You got this death stroke. Like it is what it is.
So we're surrendering to thing after thing after thing, and then we surrender again because he immediately gets sentenced to prison. He killed these men.
It's self-defense.
And self-defense. That guy.
But he's getting charged for involuntary manslaughter.
And that guy pulled a knife or
Put
a
a
gun.
fucking like switchblade on him.
Yeah, the guy was trying to kill him.
And the judge said because he was a military like specimen, he had an unfair
He was a
advantage towards
danger to
civilians.
society.
Yeah, like what the fuck? You don't
What are you
get
talking about? Like,
you protect veterans in this country. You don't put them in jail when 2 or 3
no,
idiots.
you just throw veterans out on the street.
That's
now.
true, and you don't give them health care or anything.
You don't put them in prison though.
That's the proper way.
You don't put them in prison, though.
Even
We
though
don't
that would
put them in-
that would probably be better for them than begging on the side of the street.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So he could have gotten into a fight at the bar and he walked away. because he's not that guy anymore.
I'm just gonna say he had the worst lawyer on the face of the planet.
Oh, that lawyer!
That was a
so-
public
he's like,
defender
"You should-"
who had never been in any trial situation before.
And he even said, he's like, you need to plead guilty. He's like, but I'm not guilty. He's like, you need to plead guilty because at worst case you get 4 years. And he pleads guilty, and they gave him 10.
It was like 8 to
but
10 or something like that.
Yeah, they gave him 10, and they were going to give him parole at 8. So it's like, what? Like, I would have. Also, retrial. Like, I'm not just accepting that.
Hey, again, we're gonna have to. We got to surrender to that and move on because he gets put in fucking jail.
I'm already like upset. Like 30 minutes.
I'm already laughing. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me right here.
So he goes to prison. We get this prison montage. There's not a whole lot going there other than we're getting him writing in his bad accent to his daughter. His daughter's been born, and she's writing Casey and camera, and she's like sending letters to him like, "Dear Casey, I love you, and I hope you get along with your teacher," and stuff like that. It's like it's supposed to create this like bonding moment between him and his daughter that he didn't see because she was unborn at the time, and he's can't wait to get out so he can see her. Well, 8 years go by, and he's finally up for parole. So
he's taking care of himself. He's doing his push-ups, his pull-ups, his upside-down push-ups. Like, he's in great shape.
There's one part in this where you see a full prison riot and half the place is on fire, and he's just laying in his bunk.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He also has long, wavy hair now, which is different than what we saw at the beginning.
But massive receding hairline on
massive.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's in the middle of his forehead.
It's worse than mine. But yeah, he's getting out to see his wife and his child he's never met before.
And he's leaving with another prisoner who...
It's Bubba.
Bubba. Yeah,
fucking Bubba from Forrest Gump.
But he's B-Baby or whatever. I can't remember the kid's name.
We'll look him up.
But, Kyle, what happens next now that he's getting parole?
Well, now they're going to go put him on a plane full of convicts to go to the place where he needs to be released. I don't fucking know. I don't know why that happened.
They were transporting a bunch of convicts to...
A new state prison, that's right.
A new state prison in Alabama, and his hometown is near that state prison in Alabama. So he's just going to hitch a ride on this plane that they're putting all these convicts in this prison system.
And there are some big-time convicts, some big names, some awful criminals, some cartel connections or Colombian cartel connections.
And they're stopping over in Carson City to pick up more convicts to take to this prison.
Correct.
So that's a big plot point there.
That's Carson City, Nevada, in case you didn't know
they're
your
in
geography.
They're in California, right?
Yeah,
that's
something
where
like that.
That's where this prison system is. So he's just going to hitch a ride and go home. That would not happen. If you're on parole, they would not continue to incarcerate you with other prisoners. They would tell you to figure it
Fucking surrender.
Figure it the fuck out. Your family can come pick you up in California. You can walk. We're done with you at this point
or
in time.
you can pull a Forrest Gump and run across country.
He could have ran.
You know, that's the inspiration for his voice.
I was running.
And he also has a rabbit, by the way, that he got, I don't know where.
It's a toy rabbit, a stuffed animal rabbit
for his daughter.
His daughter gave it to him, I guess.
Because he's seeing her on her birthday. He gets released on her birthday. It's the
July
best gift he can
14th.
give.
What a day. But I think it's important to point out that this is being administered, this little trade-off or whatever is being administered by the U.S. Marshals. But they're also doing it in coordination with DEA because there is a Colombian cartel connection on that flight that they want to track and monitor or whatever.
Kyle, maybe you can speak to this, but so... While we're all seeing this, we're introduced to John Cusack's character, who is the U.S. Marshal ahead of this journey, and he's an upstanding guy.
He's a Boy Scout, but he's put together.
And he's like, we got to make sure that all the safety protocols are met on this plane. We're going to have some really dangerous individuals. And then he's talking to the DEA agent, who another famous actor, right?
Yeah, I don't know what all he's been in.
It's called his name is Colm
Meaney.
And he's been in a lot.
He's an Irish actor.
Yeah,
I
recognized him. I couldn't tell you his filmography.
He was in Under Siege.
Ah, gotcha.
He was in Hell on Wheels.
Yep.
He was in.
Yeah,
was he in Troy?
I'll have to look that up. I'm looking at his IMDb page right now, but
he's an Irish actor, Irish born. He's incredible.
Great character actor. I mean,
very good.
You couldn't tell obviously that he was Irish in this whatsoever.
Only had a couple points, and I was like, but it's so. brief.
But he is a complete prick.
Yeah, hell on
and
with
plays a DEA agent, and he's putting another undercover DEA agent on this plane so that they can talk to the Colombian drug lord before the FBI.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, that makes no sense to me. I was struggling for that because it is a catalyst to this whole thing. So they're trying to talk to this drug lord that's on this plane and get some information on other things. So they put this DEA agent on there, and they think that they stripped their gun from him. And then what happens next, Kyle?
We're getting to the point where they're all boarding the plane.
Yeah.
And
This
Meany,
first part happens so quick. You're 15 minutes in the movie, and they're already on the plane.
which is appreciated. They get right to the point. There's exposition, and they're like, boom, let's go. But the DEA agent is stripped of his gun because why the fuck would you have a firearm with an inmate population? That's dumb as hell.
And
when you're in them.
And he's undercover too, yeah.
Silly. So Calmini is getting him ready and then issues him a death warrant ticket by putting the gun back in his little
sock.
his little sissy pouch stock. And
we're using the word gun loosely here.
It's like a maybe 38 special, maybe a 22.
It's compact.
It looked
too.
like a little water gun, like a toy water gun. It was tiny.
That wasn't going to do much, especially some of these big ass people on this plane.
Yeah.
And then so they get on the plane, and what happens next, Andrew?
They go through the list of criminals that they're putting on this plane, and it's a laundry list. And these are dudes that when they get put on this plane, they're put in like their own like personal cage.
Yeah, some of them are thrown out into the actual like little seats that they chain them to, and then some people are putting in their own like cage in front of everybody.
And these are like, I wouldn't necessarily say serial killers, but like these are like psychotic, just complete sociopaths.
Yeah, like people burning down houses with people in them.
Yeah.
And like you have...
We're going to introduce a few of these characters because these guys are important.
Yeah,
So you got
introduce them, Andrew.
John Malkovich is Cyrus, the
Virus.
virus, Grissom. You've got Ving Rhames as Nathan Diamond Dog. I don't know what his last name was, but Diamond Dog. Nick Chinland is William Belly Bedlam Bedford. Dave Chappelle, Pinball Parker. Fucking Dave Chappelle.
Let's go.
There's Danny Trejo, who's Johnny 23.
Love Danny.
This
So
is
good.
some stuff that didn't hold up. I mean, do we even want to talk about it? We kind of have to.
So as they're introduced to these characters, most of them are in here for murder. I mean, like some high-end
Violent
charges,
things.
violent things. Cyrus is like a drug lord, basically.
But like a criminal mastermind.
Like a criminal mastermind, like a kingpin kind of character. And they're all like just very violent. And Danny Trejo's character is just like, he can't see a woman without just going full rape mode.
He's a rapist.
Right. Serial rapist, but he is like...
Johnny 23, the 23 comes from his victims, and he brags about how he probably had hundreds, and he has a tattoo on his forearm of hearts that are all related to his victims. I mean, like, oh, God, like, fuck off with that.
And there's a female officer on board of this plane, and
Officer
he's just
Bishop.
like, he like literally just can't. He's like salivating. He's like turns into a dog, like looking at like steak.
It's really unsettling.
It's so unsettling.
It doesn't. That part does not hold up well.
No.
And honestly, there were a few other parts. Some of the racial like back and forth of like the guards to like some of the prisoners, like people didn't talk like that in the late 90s. Like,
No.
I'm sure that was said from time and time again, but like you probably wouldn't get U.S. Marshals dropping the N-word.
No.
Probably not, but
to
you
their
know
face.
what? You know what?
To their
You
face.
never know.
You never
know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll leave that one out
But
because who knows?
This is a part where I feel like it insisted upon itself a little bit too much, and it was kind of forced. And again, parts that just didn't hold up. I was like, that wasn't necessary. You're just throwing that in there for like shock value.
And the biggest thing about U.S. Marshals too is they're not going to antagonize these people to rile them up either.
No, and
so
they
these
were
guards are
doing it.
because one guard says, if you so much as fart and what was it he said? He was like, if you so much as fart and offend my sensitive nasal cavity, I will put you in the ground. Like he's like threatening people for farting, and just really antagonizing the group. And that antagonization goes a little too far. And what happens, Andrew?
Well, I mean, this is once they're locked in and settled at this point, that's when the plan starts to come to fruition.
What a plan it is.
Cyrus the Virus, the mastermind.
Honestly,
you know,
it's pretty clever shit. They were hiding pieces of metal that were sewn into their body, which when I was a kid watching this, I was like, oh my God, you can do that? Like,
and
that's crazy.
And at the same time, like, Dave Chappelle's character starts throwing up like basically a condom or something
he
that he
pulls out. He has like dental floss tied to some like pouch that's like down his esophagus, and he's pulling it out, and it's some sort of liquid. And he kind of breaks the end off and like apologizes to the guy next and was like, "Sorry, I gotta do this, man." And he sprays
the
him.
one Native American on the plane.
Yes, he sprays him with this stuff, and he gets a match. Right? He has a match or something.
Somehow he gets
a match, but he throws it and. Dude combusts, like catches on fire, and this starts the commotion of like, holy fuck, what's going on? The marshals obviously are attentive because there's a fire inside the plane cabin.
Right, so one guy just spontaneously combusted in front of everybody.
Because of Dave Chappelle, and then this is when Diamond Dog and Billy Bedlam and Cyrus the Virus break out of their cages, and they kind of commandeer the plane at this point.
Yeah, they get the one pistol on board. It's with the pilot who has it in a lockbox, which, again, I don't get. In a situation like this, the pilot's door is sealed.
Well, the pilots, again, well, first of all, this is before 9/11, so there's that. So this is back then. It was like
Good
totally
point.
like, yeah, why not just lock it? It was before we had like the common knowledge as a society that, man, we should probably keep them locked in there. Second of all, they're a pilot. They're not a U.S. Marshal. Why the fuck would they have a gun and responsible for brandishing a weapon? They're not even a federal fucking officer. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I get the 9/11 comments here, but they are on a plane with prisoners, so I'm sure that they would have thought of something to where in case there is a prisoner outbreak, they couldn't get to the pilots. So the pilot.
I just don't know if the pilots need to be the ones who have
and
the
also
weapons.
in this movie, the door is locked. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The pilot shouldn't have a weapon, but all the co-pilot had to do was not try to grab the pistol and run back there. He could have just locked the door.
But how did it, Chase? I'm going to interrupt you, so shut up. Do you remember how he exited the cockpit? With that gun?
Yeah, it just like down to his waist, basically, and like it just he ran out. He ran out of the door arm first.
Yeah, gun first.
And wasn't Cyrus waiting for him immediately?
Yeah, Cyrus just grabbed the gun, and then like now he has the gun.
Killed him. And then
Killed a bunch of people.
he proceeded to kill like 5 or 6 people. Like the bullets like ricocheted and shot multiple prisoners in the head. It was absurd.
It
was
commandeers
truly
the
absurd.
plane, and he says, "Well, now we're on Con Air, everybody." Which the plane's name is Jailbird, which is comical to me.
It is pretty fucking funny.
That's cute. I like it. And then DEA agent stands up and he pulls out his gun, and
The dumbest, like the least strategically smart person in the entire plane. Everybody get back around. I'll shoot this inmate
guy.
that you don't care about.
does he grab Cyrus and hold the gun to his head or something like that?
He grabs another just random like inmate, and he pulls out his 9mm 22 whatever.
It's his water gun.
It's a fucking tiny little sissy pistol.
It's not going to do any damage, and also they're firing like weapons in a plane.
Yeah. I don't think it's a pressurized cabin though, because they're at such a low altitude. But still, your point remains. Probably not the best place to just
Fire weapons in, because they don't know that. They don't know how low they're flying. They're just inmates. But he grabs the guy, and Cyrus could not give two shits that he has this person hostage.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. It was the dumbest hostage we've ever.
Yeah, and he could have just waited and tried to abide his time out, but because they unlock all the prisoners at this point and set all the prisoners free and lock up all the remaining guards, including the female guard who Danny Trejo's character is
still trying to.
He wants to rape right here and there.
Can't let it go.
But Nick Cage now unlocked. Well, I guess we'll finish. So what happens next now that the DEA agent has the person?
Gets killed. He gets shot in the head.
So the DEA
Does he get
agent
shot in the head or does he get shot in the chest? Doesn't matter. He's fucking dead.
so the
he got
DEA
yeeted.
agent is useless. All the prisoners are now unlocked from their chains and running around. Danny Trejo's character is trying to rape the female guard who's been handcuffed to the cell, and Nick Cage stops him. And this is when Cyrus also stops him, because the one thing he doesn't want to do is rape somebody.
Yeah,
That's his, like-
He's also
prisoner.
he made note that he doesn't respect Johnny 23. He doesn't like rapists, which, hey, good. That's a redeeming quality for a criminal mastermind, I guess.
He doesn't care killing people. Like, he'll kill whoever he needs to, but a rapist he can't stand.
But also, let's not get ahead of the picture here. We have a plan. Let's stick to it. No raping, okay?
Yeah, no raping. Like, we gotta.
No raping.
But he starts building a bond at this point with Cameron, which is Nicolas Cage's character, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's like,
Intelligence,
and he's equipped. He can tell he's like a military personnel.
He's jacked.
So he's like, yeah, we're gonna need you." So Cyrus has this like respect for Nick Cage, and because as poorly written as all these characters are, I would say Cyrus's character is actually pretty in depth and written pretty well and played very well by John Malkovich, by the way. He is.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into this with this episode because talking about casting on this, because these movies then they have an all-star cast, but they always like were looking for other people. Did you know Willem Dafoe was one of the people that they were thinking about playing Cyrus the Virus?
Oh, he probably would have
That'd
done a good job.
Yeah, but this
So-
was before Willem Dafoe, I
Dafoe
think,
was, yeah.
played a villain. And guess what his first villain role was after this?
Green Goblin.
Speed 2. Did you hear the silence?
Yeah. Okay. I
It
was
gave
like,
us that meme of Willem Dafoe in the blue suit with the long hair and the crazy look in his eye. So that spawned that. But Willem
Okay.
Dafoe played his first villain role after this. So just putting that out there.
and then Green Goblin probably came not too long after that.
Yeah, 2002.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's the plan, Andrew, for these convicts?
So they're going to hold the pilot hostage or force him to land in Carson City, as that was part of the original itinerary. They're going to do a prisoner swap. It turns out that some of those prisoners they were supposed to swap accidentally got killed, so they're going to have to, force it, fudge it. But they want to switch them out at Carson City for 5 or 6 even more dangerous criminals to get on board this flight out of the country, I guess. So the plane has been commandeered by Cyrus. He's got his henchmen and Diamond Dog and Billy Bedlam and others that are essentially just making their rounds, making sure shit doesn't go down when the pilot flies this plane to Carson City. So that's pretty much what's at stake here at this moment. Things are settled. They have control, and it's Carson City.
And they've gotten the pilot to... It's kind of subdued, so he sent out an alert and then pulled it back and said everything was wrong, that there was just a quick commotion on the plane and that they got that taken care of. So John Cusack thinks that there's something up.
He is skeptical.
Yeah, he's skeptical that something's wrong with the plane here. And then what happens next, Kyle?
So at this point, we get to Carson City, but before we get there, the pilot goes, "Oh, there's a sandstorm in Carson City," and Cyrus goes, perfect, amazing. Like, not in a sarcastic way, very like, "Oh, good, this is even better than I hoped." Because when they land, they do this prisoner swap, and nobody can really verify any identities, and they're just like, they've taped up their mouths and they're like, "Yeah, we got a bunch of spinners and shitters on this one."
Yeah, and all the prisoners are now dressed as guards, or some of the prisoners are dressed as guards, the ones that can talk really well. There's one point where Cameron Poe offers to be one of the prisoners to be sent out, and then he changes his mind because he's like, "I gotta get to my daughter. Getting off this plane will be the first step." And then he kind of realizes that he may be killed pretty quickly, and his friend that he joined the plane with is going into a diabetic coma. He doesn't have his insulin, and they can't get him his shot because they broke all the insulin needles. So he's like, "I gotta stay on the plane for him." And as they're gagging all the guards, Cameron Poe sends a message to one of the U.S. Marshals, and I forgot how he hit it. But as the guards are getting off the plane, they're trying to like alert the authorities around him. And
he gives the one prisoner the audio recording equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And
From the DEA agent. That's right.
Correct,
That's right.
yeah.
So Cameron Poe puts the DEA agent's audio equipment on one of the guards as they're coming out, and Cyrus doesn't know this. so that he can alert the DEA agents that the plane's been taken over.
Because they're going to accost those prisoners and pat them down, make sure that everything is up to snuff. And, of course, they'll take the audio equipment and listen to the recordings to what happened on this flight.
They're doing their prisoner transport, and we get a round 2 of introducing prisoners, and this is where the Colombian drug lord's on there.
Sendino.
And
they also have a Swamp Thing, who's going to be the pilot.
Yeah.
And then Garland Green, the serial killer, who is...
Garland Green gets the craziest introduction.
I mean, he looks like he's Hannibal Lecter with what they've got on him.
But who is Garland Green, Kyle?
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. He's
Buscemi.
fucking awesome.
Great.
He's the best.
But it's
good.
so funny that I know they meant this as comical as they could, because he is not a very imposing person, and they treat this guy like the prisoners are even shaken.
He said, Christ in a cartoon. That's Garland Green. He's the Marietta Strangler. That was his introduction.
And he's just
Cool.
and they bring him on, and the prisoners
Christ
are just
in a
like
cartoon.
shaking that he's on board of this plane
Because he doesn't have his equipment on. He's literally just sitting with like no cuffs.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this psychopath
He has like
gonna do?
a Hannibal Lecter mask on.
And they take it off of him, and he's just in a white jail suit.
Yeah, he's just in calm, cool, and collected the whole way through, and even like offering words of advice at points in this movie. But anyway, so they get the prisoner transport, and they're up in the air again. And
Wait, there's an important little detail here we got to talk about. Pinball Parker, Dave Chappelle's character, yes, thank you. He takes the transponder from their transport airplane, and he takes into some like hangar there at Carson City. He starts hitting on this woman that he finds in the hangar. It's just very...
No, that's right.
It's just stupid, but expected for the 90s.
she's just some agent in the hangar.
Yeah, and he throws the transponder into this private plane tour vehicle. It's like Bob's Family, like scenic views. I don't remember what the fucking name was, but it's literally you pay to take this plane over like the Grand Canyon or like the Sierra Nevadas and do some sightseeing. And he throws it in there, and he kind of tries to get back on the plane, but
sidetracked.
He gets sidetracked because he's trying to, hit on this woman, and
It's been a while, Andrew.
it's been a minute for good old Pinball here. Makes it seem like he misses the plane, and they take off, and he's stuck down in Carson City.
And he sees the plane take off.
Oh, yeah,
and
he tries to get on.
He runs after it, and what happens to him, Kyle, as he's running?
I don't remember.
He gets caught up in the landing gear as it comes up.
Cool.
But they do find him later, which
Right.
I didn't understand.
Right. So you think he just gets
Left or
like you see him
flattened.
you see him on the window, and you see him just fall, and you're like, oh, he's like fell or maybe got hit by the landing gear. But anyway, so they take off. And now
They're going to Lerner Airfield. That's their next spot. Because
Lerner
this is where
Airfield.
they're going to be picked up by the cartel or
It is
whatever.
an abandoned airfield too.
Yeah, it's
so
old. There's
nothing
nothing
there. So their plan now that they've got the cartel leader, the cartel will fly them out for their services, and they'll all escape to like non-U.S. territory. Seems like it's a decent plan. So once they get to Lerner Airfield, they'll be picked up by the cartel and they'll be over. But as they're flying out there, John Cusack now is aware, thanks to the audio.
But he doesn't know exactly what's happening next because he hasn't gotten the second message from
He just
from
knows
Poe.
the plane's hijacked now.
Yep.
And so, and because the plane's transponder's gone,
They think that it's flying over the Grand Canyon
Yep.
where Bob's Family Scenic Tours is heading.
You're right.
And the DEA agent and the head of U.S. Marshals like, we got to get some copters out there and blow this thing up.
So let me just go ahead and say that out of all of the pieces of military equipment that you have at your disposal, you have a plane that's probably moving close to 200 or 300 miles an hour. Yes, you could very well go get an attack helicopter. Two, and a Huey, which won't be able to keep up. But there's that. Instead of just calling in, I don't know, any slew of aircraft, like a fighter jet with, I don't know, heat-seeking missiles or air-to-air radar-guided missiles or something that's fast as fuck that can get there, let's choose the slowest fucking thing we could. It's almost as if he went up to them and said, God damn it, they're getting away on another plane. Somebody quick, get me the slowest aircraft you can, please.
this DEA agent, and he's just like, let's just shoot him down. And John Cusack kind of knows, like, hey, there's something up here. And he starts looking at the people on board, and he's like, I bet Cameron Poe is the one that put this audio message out for me, because he shouldn't have been in prison to begin with, and he's an ex-Ranger.
And his manslaughter charge was bullshit to begin with. And I know that.
And and he's just like, and he's on parole, so why would he jeopardize his freedom and seeing his daughter? So he puts it all together, and he's like, there's something going on here. And then they scramble like F-14s, Kyle, or something, to almost shoot down the touring people above the Grand Canyon?
No, they're fucking. It's 2 Vipers, old ones, like Vietnam War era Vipers, and a fucking Huey. A good job. And by the way, none of the missiles or none of the gun pods on this helicopter are anything but unguided. There's like a rocket pod and there's a gun, and that's it.
Well, it worked out for them, because all they were chasing down was a commercial little airplane that had like a bunch of like
Old
tourists from Arizona.
Family.
Yeah, so they catch up to him, realize it's a tourist plane, like, we've been had. And so the DEA agent's pissed off, and now...
But at this point, I think we're back on the transport plane, back on Con Air, if you will.
So Poe and Diamond Dog are sent down to the bottom of the cargo bay to see what's going on, why they can't fly fast, and they think it's something to do with the landing gear. That's when they find that Pinball is crushed in the landing gear. As they're doing this, and Diamond Dog's like questioning Poe a lot. How do you know how to do all this? All this blah 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 blah. He doesn't really trust him. But while Diamond Dog's back's turned, he writes a message on the white shirt of Pinball, his corpse.
He just grabs a Sharpie from the abyss.
I don't know where he produced the Sharpie from, but he pushes him out of the landing gear so the landing gear can close. But now he has this message on his shirt, which is hilarious what happens after this, because then it cuts to this like couple driving.
He drops him just in the middle of fucking nowhere in the air,
Nevada, but somehow he ends up in this
Fresno, California. It's some old couple that are driving down Main Street, and they're
arguing too.
They're arguing about
you're
something
going too
mundane.
fast, Richard.
They stop at a red light, turns green. They go forward, and all of a sudden, Pinball just flies down and crushes their car.
Destroys their car. Like the wheels blow off. The car just absolutely collapses from the weight of this 140-pound human, and it just causes this massive wreck. And that's when they notice the writing on the shirt, so they call Cusack's character.
It's the chief of police
and tell
from
him that
Fresno that they're heading to Lerner Air.
They're heading to Lerner Airfield, and that's where John Cusack's like, I gotta go. Let me drive this old car. What kind of car was it? He stole the DEA agent's car.
It was some.
It was
convertible.
It's an old Corvette. It was like a 1967 Corvette. And no, it's not that fast.
Beautiful car, though.
Yeah, pretty. Not that fast. Not going to get there in time.
Yeah, not from wherever he was driving from.
Somewhere in California.
Yeah, so he had to drive, and the DEA agent's up in the air just pissing himself right now because he can't find where they're going. And that's when we get the fight between Poe and...
That's right. Garland. Is it Garland? But no, Billy Bedlam. Sorry. Billy Bedlam, asked him what block he was at the same prison, and I don't remember. He was like, well, I knew all 150 people who were in that block, and that's for like dangerous criminals.
It's because Poe had lied to Cyrus and said, "Hey, I have 15 more years. Yeah, I want to see that sunset."
Poe made it seem like he was some dangerous guy, but really he was not even a true criminal.
And on parole.
Yeah, and so Bedlam was suspicious the entire time. So he goes down into the little underneath part, starts going through some of the personal belongings. Finds Poe's box, goes through his correspondence, his letters with his daughter, and confronts him about it.
Well, yeah, he finds the parole.
Yeah, he finds the parole notice.
So he knows Poe's on parole. And the only thing Poe says is, put the bunny in the box.
Put the bunny in the box. Just like that. Just
keep saying it, too. Put the bunny in the box. And so Bedlam's like, confronting him, and they have this fight on the airplane. What happens then, Andrew?
It's a pretty physical fights, a lot of punches, some kicks. It's aggressive. Some pipe somehow gets pulled out of like the plane's side, and it's spewing some gas. And then Poe,
which should be a problem.
Probably should be. It should be a huge problem. But Poe throws Bedlam against it, and he gets pierced in the back and through
It stopped the flow of whatever that was.
all the blood and human flesh, I guess, clogged that
bone matter got caught in the pipe,
clogged that pipe, and
which should also be a problem.
Yeah, it's sticking out of Bedlam's chest though, and he's fucking dead. So that's pretty much it.
And then what happens next, Kyle? Now that Bedlam's dead and Poe's identity
We're
is still
speeding
safe.
up here towards the main.
This is near the end. We're getting near the end now. They're going to land at the airfield now, and they land, but not without some difficulty, and they slide almost into a propane tank. Great, awesome. They miss it. Cool. Everybody jumps out, and they're like, we're free now, kind of, not really though. And this is where shit starts getting real.
And I also want to point out, I don't know when I was going to point this out, but I think this is a great point. We have this, like, I guess, trans prisoner. I don't know how you want to classify him.
Yeah.
He does
I'm
not.
going to tell you right now, Chase, don't you dare gender them for them.
It is Sally
Piece of
Can't
shit.
Dance. That's the name of the character. Sally Can't Dance.
And this person is just, I don't know why they put this person in this movie.
He doesn't like his prison paraphernalia. He goes and like finds a dress once they
land in Lerner.
and
right?
Lerner and puts on a dress.
I don't
and-
know where he found the dress at.
And they make him incredibly like flamboyant and whatnot. It's just I don't know. It just seemed like cliched. It was very odd.
and he's not. He doesn't. No one.
He doesn't serve a purpose.
No one.
He's just
No.
there. It's
and
just candy.
No one acknowledges him. He's never with the group. He always prances off. And I'm serious.
And he, like,
prancing is the word I would
Yes.
use. He
Yeah.
prances off.
And he giggles and makes like like weird noises.
yeah,
It's just like
and then at one point
what
they
are
give
you
him
doing?
a gun.
Yeah. What is the
Yeah.
point? What is the point of
I
this
just-
character?
Just there for, I guess, comedic thing. I don't even
I guess that's
know.
funny in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s, I guess I don't know. I just, it doesn't hold up there. But, so they get to the field, the Lerner airfield, and they're waiting, and they feel like they've been double-crossed because
The cartel plane is not there.
So they
No,
start,
it's not there. It's not presently there.
and so they're getting pissed off, and they're trying to, like, figure out why the cartel plane's not there. And John Cusack ends up meeting them around the same time, which would be implausible.
But he's there and he's hiding because he obviously isn't going to try to take on this crew on his own.
Didn't bring backup with him or alert anyone else.
No, he just drove as fast as he could through the California-Nevada desert to get there in time. I
to
guess.
take on a bunch of criminals. And by the way, the criminals had gotten into the cargo space of the plane and gotten all the weapons. There's an armory on the plane.
That they had put on there to,
in case of a situation like this where they can arm the criminals.
So they've got like AK-47s and like AR-15, all sorts of like military grade weapons that
John Cusack has, I think, a Beretta. I think I can't remember.
He's got a Glock.
He's got a Glock.
He's got a Glock.
Yeah.
Everybody else, he's got a Glock, and everybody else has got like a Sig P320 or something.
Yeah, so he's about to take on this entire army, basically.
But he has called in the National Guard. Like, they're on their way, but they're not going to be able to drive as fast as that Corvette. So it's going to take them a little bit longer to get there in their Humvees.
They are driving from Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah. So, yeah, the criminal crew's getting ready to defend themselves in some form or fashion or just kind of figure out their next step. I think Poe starts to do his own thing at this point. He's trying to leave to go find a syringe for his buddy so he can shoot his insulin up and not die.
Poe is trying to save this guy. That's his whole mission, is to save this guy and the female officer.
Not to get back to his family.
Yeah,
No.
he's
Mind you.
like, my daughter would understand if I didn't leave a man behind. It's like your daughter.
My daughter I never met would understand.
Your
that.
7-year-old daughter has no concept of this.
None.
She's a shitty drawer too. Like, let's go ahead and say that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Not talented.
I'm sorry, parents. If your child can't draw, don't show me the photos, and I don't want to see it. It's not cute at a certain point. Like,
They're not getting into the local art school.
yeah, it's
not
like,
happening.
I'm sorry,
They will.
that's one of the skills
They
that they
will.
can't do. It's
You
not
went to
cute.
local art school because of that.
Yeah.
Andrew can barely draw on the line.
No, my hands are inoperative essentially. So don't trust my
That is actually very true.
visual artistic capabilities here.
So we're here, and then what happens next, Andrew? So they're all kind of standing around trying to figure out a plan.
And what's his name? Poe's gone commando or AWOL. He's doing his own thing, but he's in some hangar. And
He's trying to plan with Cyrus at this point, and he's trying to tell the other guy not to kill all the guards because they need him in case this doesn't happen.
He's telling Cyrus one thing while he can go off and do another to make it seem like he has an alibi to get the syringe and kind of scope out the land. I'm pretty sure Poe's the one who discovers the cartel plane, or is that Cusack?
Yeah, it's Poe. But in the meantime, what happens with Steve Buscemi's character? Because we need to bring this up because
it's so fucking bizarre.
It's
He just
so
walks
weird.
off
Such a
the
strange thing.
airfield, and this is an abandoned airfield, mind you. Like, it looks like
everything's rusted.
there's like
over.
one person who was using it on that day who probably has like their own personal plane or whatever. But I guess there's a local trailer park nearby,
But you don't see it at the time.
you don't
When
see it at the time.
this-
It's not obvious.
You see this like dilapidated, empty pool that's rusted over, and this little girl just having a tea party.
Yeah.
And she's dressed like a 1950s little girl. She has like that flowing dress, and she's got pigtails, and Steve Buscemi sits down and has tea with her.
in this abandoned, empty pool.
And the music changes, and the way that they shoot it changes. It's like this drama.
It's like he's having like a redemption moment, but like also you don't trust him because he's a fucking psychopathic, sociopathic
Who's murdered
serial
people,
killer.
and you don't know if this is in his head.
Yeah.
I think it's in his head.
Yeah, you think that. At that point in time, I was like, are we just watching this weird, like, psychological drama play out where we think it's in his head, and it changes the entire tone of the movie on you like that. And this is going on while Nicolas Cage stumbles into the cartel plane, right? So the cartel plane is hiding, and Kyle, why is it hiding?
Because they're going to double cross them, and they're going to go take off without them knowing.
They're gonna
and
fuck him in the ass.
They're going to fuck them in the ass.
Because it's only like a 2-seater or a 3-seater in this plane.
They just want Sandino, and that's it. They don't give a fuck about the others.
And Sandino's been trying to escape. He's like, I got to go over here and do this because he knows where the plane is, and they're going to get on the plane and take off. And Nick Cage ends up fighting the cartel, and Cusack shows up and sees it. And Cusack helps him defeat the cartel aide, except for one who hides in the plane. And they defeat him and have this like little meet and greet basically. And he's like, hey, I know you're not a bad guy. I know you shouldn't have been on that plane. I know you're paroled. Think of your daughter. And he's like, well, I got to get back with this medicine to give to my friend.
Never leave a man behind.
He also says, I only trust 2 men in this life. And Cusack's like, oh, I'm not one of them yet. Okay, cool. Well, we'll reconvene.
Yeah, he's like, I only trust 2 men. You ain't one of them.
Yeah.
And walks away, which is kind of a cool line, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. So the cartel guy that was hiding in the plane starts the engines and comes out of the hangar and starts taking off. And Sandino sees that and runs and jumps on the plane and gets in. Why is that a dumb decision?
Well, we're not going to get very far, first of all.
That's right.
And second of all, they're going to, when he does get caught, he's going to get absolutely fucked up.
That's
Big
right.
time.
And they see this plane taking off, and the criminals with all their weaponry just start firing at this. Like, and it's like a little crop dusting.
It's like a
plane.
Gulfstream. It's a little Gulfstream jet.
Cusack get out though and like
He
go.
does.
He goes to like the top of like the responding tower or whatever the fuck it is, and he drops this like lever on the middle of the runway that cuts the plane in half.
Yeah.
And it's that point that the plane goes forward, the severed half goes forward and lands like right near the Con Air plane they've been on the entire time, even though it's not a Con Air plane. And Sandino's like, oh shit, I was taking the plane to you all. What a convenience. And Cyrus is like, fuck you.
Yeah, because it's
You're
like
done.
it's like a 3-seater.
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you kidding me? You tried to double cross this? Like, there's nothing he can say." And
Yeah.
then they just
kill him.
He's like, please help
Yeah.
me. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you.
And they
Help you out a lot.
set the entire plane on fire with
Yeah.
him like trapped under the wreckage.
And at this point, I think the National Guard is almost there. You can see him off in the horizon.
So they jump on the remaining criminals, including Poe, right? Jump on the Con Air plane because
Yeah.
he's still maintaining that he is, he's got to get on for his friend. And they end up taking off and beat the National Guard there. And this is kind of where our climax of the film happens because Poe, doesn't he end up getting him the insulin at this point?
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
does.
does. He got a syringe from a first
Just
aid
in
kit
time for him to get shot.
in the stomach.
Yeah. So they kind of confront Poe. They know what's happening now, and they end up shooting his friend in the stomach.
Because
So-
Diamond Dog went down in the boxes, got the rabbit and more papers, and they're like, "You've been double crossing us too, motherfucker." All right, and it starts to unravel here for Poe's side, and they don't take off just yet, right? Don't they have a little standoff with the National Guard?
They do. They ambush them.
They ambush them.
realize that
The
they're
National
Ashton,
Guard goes into like the sectioned off area, single file, line by like one by one, and one line to try and ambush this group of criminals with military grade weapons, and they have a big old shootout.
yeah, and
not
but-
very smart.
No,
Tactically,
not
but
smart at
whatever.
all. And Cusack tries to warn them. It's like, hey, don't do that. You're walking into a death trap.
Yes, and they just dumb tactics by the National Guard there. But they end up getting into the air in a way. It's a lot of shootouts that didn't really amount to anything other than the cons getting away and a lot of National Guard people dying.
And at this point, DEA agent and head of the marshal have already made their way back to Lerner, but they know that the plane is now in the air, and this is where they have the debate whether to blow it up or correspond with them and come to an agreement on the next course of action. And why does Cusack's character, why does he not want them to blow this plane up? Because it would probably...
He's got a friend.
Yeah, he's got a friend. He's got a friend on the plane, and
The guards, too.
and the guards. But also, Poe is out on parole. He doesn't deserve to die. He's got to go meet his daughter. Oh, he's got
Which would they would if you had a situation like this and you were flying over the Nevada desert with no harm to any
You're gonna
civilians.
blow that thing.
Sorry, Poe.
sky high.
I'm sorry you're out on parole, but you are a innocent victim in this, and all the guards, like the U.S. government, would not take a chance.
No.
Your plane's going down.
They're fucking dead.
Yeah.
They're toast.
They,
But-
they were gonna do that on 9/11.
yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
they just they couldn't get the missiles ready in time, so they were going to actually have a suicide mission for the pilots. If the flight, what was it, the one that crashed in Pennsylvania, if they hadn't taken matters in their own hands, they were going to ram their jets into that jet if it was going to go for the White House, by the way. So
Yeah.
that's a real thing.
Yeah, and it's the thing that happens. Like I've heard it happen in history before. Like it's there. Some people will be sacrificed in that situation. They can't let that get out, and especially with the level of convicts on that plane. No, it's going down. Like the first DEA agent, he's just an idiot about it, but his thought process was exactly how they would treat it, and no one would bat an eye at sending a plane down.
But guess what? They don't blow it up because that would be an anticlimactic ending to this movie.
So how does the climax, for lack of better words, how does it?
They agree to land at Las Vegas International.
Well, they get the attack helicopters show up,
Yeah,
and
it's very close.
disable the fuel lodge in Con Air. So now they're going down. And where are they going down? You just mentioned
Vegas. They were going to try to go for Vegas International, but that's too far out of the way. So what strip do they land on?
Okay, here we go.
The Strip.
The Vegas Strip, baby.
We've all three been on the Vegas Strip multiple times. It's not that big to land a plane of that size. And I say that because the plane lands perfectly and starts skidding through the Vegas Strip.
There are also so many like overwalks and
Trees. Like
so
and
many
and
people
and
and-
it's just skidding. It is going for miles on the Strip. This big ass ex-military cargo plane, and it is just skidding the Strip just normally. The Strip is not that big.
No.
It is not that big.
No, that plane would be wider than the Strip.
The,
Let's be real.
The plane would have hit two buildings, took them out, and then those prisoners would be dead.
But he does successfully land on the Strip. It skids. It goes far. We see a couple of iconic Vegas institutions. Some that may not even be around anymore. Circus was one that I remember seeing. But
The Eiffel Tower,
yeah,
which
but
is still there.
It's still there. But it lands. Yes, it lands and he can't stop it. So it fucking.
Which, and at this point too, being good at their job, the U.S. government, FBI, DEA, whatever, U.S. Marshals bring Nicolas Cage's child and his wife to an active crime scene.
But
Yes, good stuff.
they've been with them, to be fair, from the start for questioning because, of course, Cusack's character is trying to uncover what Poe's intentions might be. That's something that we didn't touch upon, but he's been corresponding and interviewing them since like a third of the way through the movie.
You would bring a child
No.
to especially when they know the plane is going down.
Also, weren't they in California? Like, where the fuck were they? Like, how did they get from Mobile to California to Nevada that quickly, all within like a day?
I have no clue.
But it happens.
If they could have done that at the beginning, they shouldn't have put Poe on the plane. If they could have gotten to California that quickly just to take him home in a red sedan, they could have. Anyway,
Thank you for the red sedan there, Chase. That was unnecessary.
Don't bring a child to an active crime scene. And they just open a taxi cab and they're just out on the strip. This
is a very active crime scene because
they're about to murder a bunch of people.
But you land a fucking transport jet like that on the strip, there's going to be hundreds of civilian deaths. And then when it, can't stop its momentum and crashes into a hotel/casino resort, more people are going to die.
But Andrew, the child could talk about this in therapy later.
I guess, but therapy didn't exist in the 90s, so...
It would when this child became of age.
Sure, I guess.
She would be our age.
But all that being said...
She's actually born in 89, so there you go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the particulars. But here we are. The plane has landed. It has been stopped. It rammed itself into a casino resort, and we're pretty much here at the end.
We get the showdown between Cyrus and...
There's a very funny moment. They somehow commandeer some of the criminals. Cusack's out, and he looks at them, and this made me and Gretchen laugh really hard. He looks at them and starts like aggressively pointing his fingers like he's counting like the 7 or 8 that are in that group, but he can't count that fast and how quickly he was pointing his fingers, and he moves on to whatever subject is in front of him. But just that aggressive no, dude, you're not counting. You're not counting those.
So Cyrus and his fellow other inmates, I guess, or a couple others, end up commandeering. I think it's Swamp Thing.
Truck.
Yeah, so Swamp Thing and Cyrus.
Swamp Thing's the driver again.
And because that's all he
Diamond
can
Dog.
do. And they commandeer a fire truck out of the firefighters that were there to put the blaze out from the Con Air going down. And so Poe sees that and he takes off. Even though it's not his problem anymore, he can let the National Guard take care of this. But they drive off. Cusack sees that too. And what happens next?
Cusack drives in some cop car that he takes, and Poe...
It's not a car, it's 2 motorcycles.
Is it? No, was it a motorcycle?
Yeah,
Okay,
motorcycles.
you're right. Yeah, they just hop on a motorbike or motorcycle by a cop and drive off.
I laughed at this scene because they just get on and they just have this nod at each other and they just kick the pedals and go off at the same speed
with the keys already in the ignition, of course.
And then the motorbike cop's like, "Hey, stop!" Like just like that. Hey. Don't do that.
Shit's on fire, and there's hundreds of people,
dead, probably
squished and dead, trapped in cars.
Buildings are just destroyed.
Yeah, but here we're focused.
A child.
We're focused on Poe and Cusack. What is Cusack's name? We keep calling him Cusack, but what's his character's fucking name?
Grissom.
It's John Cicero.
Is it?
No.
I didn't think so.
I think it's Grissom.
It's Vince Larkin. Grissom is Cyrus.
Oh no, Grissom.
Agent Larkin.
Grissom
Larkin.
would have been the DEA agent.
No, Grissom is Cyrus the Virus. Cyrus the Virus Grissom.
Ew.
Ew.
Malloy. Duncan Malloy is the DEA agent.
Whatever. I didn't remember any of their
But
names.
here we got 2 cop motorcycles going after a fire truck in the Vegas streets. We get to a tunnel. This is when things are going to happen because many penultimates happen within a tunnel in
Men
a
in
movie.
Black. Yeah.
But they commandeered the fire truck. I think Poe gets on top. Doesn't he get on top? And
he jumps onto the fire truck.
he takes the hose and puts it in like the...
because him and Cyrus are battling on the truck now, and that's when he takes the fire hose and puts it in the fucking cab of the truck and just basically creates a small pool for Swamp Thing to drown in.
Yep.
So he's fucking hilarious.
He obviously has to stop that truck.
Was very
It's funny.
inventive. And I was dying laughing because it looked like he got put in a dunk tank.
He had his own little aquarium in a tunnel in fucking Vegas in a fire truck.
Can you imagine drowning? All you had to do was just open the door and the water would have came out.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's an inaccuracy there because I'm pretty sure ladder trucks, which is the one they had, I don't think they carry water.
Shut up, Kyle.
No.
Shut up. Speaking of ladders, after that driver's area gets filled with water, Cyrus, the virus, and Poe have a little two-man confrontation on the ladder of the fire truck. I think Poe stabs him in the leg, like aggressively, like through his like ankle. Looks pretty gnarly. And then
That was pretty fucking gnarly.
how did he meet his end?
He handcuffs him to the ladder.
That's right.
And then he extends the ladder up in the air. And at that point, here we go. There's a walkway bridge coming up.
So he gets launched into the walk bridge.
And and he somehow falls like Die Hard. Like he fell a long way for what that walkway bridge would have been.
Falls through the walk bridge onto electrical wires. He gets thrown onto live wires and just gets what you would think is disintegrated. But turns out he wasn't disintegrated. He then falls from there onto some kind of conveyor belt. I don't know what was under him.
Yeah, like and where was this in the Las Vegas Strip? There, like
it was just some errant.
Factory.
It was some kind of errant like rock crushing machine that was just left on after hours negligently.
In a quarry.
It was in a quarry in the middle of Las Vegas, and he gets on this conveyor belt and he's knocked unconscious, somehow not dead from the amount of electricity that went through his body.
Or the fall.
And then he just conveniently, his head gets placed underneath this rock crusher, and it just goes and squishes his head.
It's a very aggressive ending to him.
Good riddance.
It's like the death of all deaths. And then
Diamond Dog was already taken care of way back. I think he fell off and got like crushed.
No, he didn't get fell off. The motorcycle. They launched the motorcycle into him, and it just like
exploded.
C4s and
yeah, that's right.
I do.
Not at all realistic, but funny as hell.
Can you imagine getting a motorcycle thrown at you? Yeeted like a baseball. So anyway, all the criminals are dead, and now Poe gets reunited with his family to the classic Trisha Yearwood song that comes out of nowhere.
Playing in the background, very loud, very, very loud.
Oh,
city's on flames.
Oh, Las Vegas will never be the same again.
It's destroyed, not destroyed, but that one section of the Strip is pretty much just
the murder count is through the roof.
Yep, but here Poe gets to meet his daughter Casey. He says hi to his wife. I think his wife can't believe that he stayed on board that plane and almost jeopardized his parole or his life on the day of his parole. But whatever.
Can't believe that she stayed single that long, too, for 8 years as a single mother.
But somehow Poe gets the bunny rabbits. I don't know where he got it from, but it was there.
It was on the ground where the plane was, and it's disgusting.
Oh, how convenient! Just landed on the ground. Yeah. But he picks it up and hands it to his daughter, who's hesitant at first, but then takes it, and they have a sweet, tender moment because it's the first time they've met.
She's handed a bloody, dirty rabbit.
Yep. And they embrace, and the song plays, and
how could I live without you?
Blackout curtains.
We end where we begin.
That is it. So
and that's Con Air, everybody.
What a trip. What a fucking trip. There's just so much to talk about, so much to make fun of, but then also enjoy at the same time. It's
very enjoyable. Very easy to love and hate this movie.
So Kyle,
it's a conundrum.
Kyle, let's start with you then. And we don't really have enough to talk about with our childhood because, again, we were too young with this, but we do remember it. But how did you see this movie as an adult?
It was better than when I was a kid because I understood more of what was happening. And some of the, I don't want to say innuendo, but like the whole like Dave Chappelle like hitting on the woman and like that whole bit was actually very funny. Some of the more violent aspects of it, it kind of was a little childish, but it was actually pretty engaging and pretty fun. It wasn't completely out of bounds in terms of like realism. There was just certain things where I'm like, well, that would just never happen. That would just never happen. But you have to suspend your disbelief enough in this to make it through most movies anyhow. So it wasn't that egregious of a mistake. So I would say it's actually better as an adult than it was as a kid.
Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Well, I don't know. I think when I was a kid, I don't think I watched it all the way through. So this was the real true first exposure start to finish. So I can't say that I enjoyed it more now than when I was younger. I would say what I watched when I was a kid, I don't think I understood the full brevity of the ridiculousness. Everything that went into it, the tropes, the cliches, the action, the actors. I don't think I had as much respect for all of that. So I do believe it's better as an adult, but that's probably because this was my first true experience with the movie as a whole. But it's enjoyable. Again, it's easy to hate. It's easy to love. You kind of just have to surrender and accept it for what it is, but it was a good time.
I mean, we're kind of looking back to back at these action movies because we did Demolition Man last, and I really liked the start of Demolition Man, but I hated the ending of Demolition Man. And also, the action set pieces here are way more entertaining than Demolition Man.
They are.
If Demolition Man had more action pieces like this, I would have really enjoyed it more. But I think Con Air edges it there. It's kooky, it's wild, it is, but that's what you get with a late 90s action movie that's trying to outdo the 80s. You're not going in there for the plot, and some of the character work is weird and it's discombobulated at times, especially with like you're throwing Trisha Yearwood at us, you're throwing all these layers that never get fleshed out, and it just comes together kind of randomly. But the absurdity of trying to land a cargo plane on the Vegas Strip gets me. There's some like really funny moments, intentional or non-intentional, like Pinball's body getting pulled up into the like landing gear was really funny. It's a dumb movie. It's really dumb, but it's a popcorn dumb movie, and it's something that if you're in the age to remember this as a kid, you get a bunch of friends over, you have some beers, you can watch this, have a great time.
Create a drinking game for this
Absolutely.
movie.
I'm sure there is a
Absolutely
drinking
could.
game out there. So I enjoyed it. Is it a movie I'm going to rewatch again? Probably not. But I found myself very entertained, which at the end of the day, that's kind of where we're going with movies. Is if it was it entertaining? Yes. Kyle, does it hold up to you, though?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yeah, you said you wouldn't watch it again. I would under the right circumstances for sure.
I would as well.
I wouldn't seek it out necessarily, but it wasn't a waste of 2 hours. I enjoyed it. I think it holds up. There are parts that we talked about that don't, but as a whole, yeah, it does.
And I'm going to say, revisiting our last episode, how I said Demolition Man almost held up, but because of the last 40 minutes of it, I'd say no. This one, because of the absurd action, I'm going to say yes, but it holds up by the skin of its teeth. That's where I'm going to put this.
Edgy take there.
Yeah. It's close. Andrew, what would you give this IMDb style?
Ooh, I would put it in, probably do like a 6.2.
That's exactly what I was going to say, too.
6.3, something like that.
I was going to say 6.2. Kyle, what would you give it?
It's not good enough to be in the 7s by any means. Not good enough to be in the upper 6s. So, 6.2.
Kyle, what are you saying?
I was going to say 6.4.
Okay, nice.
Okay, let's see what it is.
Because I think 6.2, 6.1 is about right because it's good, but it's not like...
Ooh, you all want to
No.
guess? You all want to guess? There's definitely a nostalgia bump with this one.
Oh, really? I'm going to
It's-
say 8.2.
No, not that high. Not that high.
It can't be in the 7s.
It's 6.9.
Wow.
So
Damn.
This is
still,
definitely a nostalgia bump.
little high. A little high.
Yeah, it's not that good.
No.
Great. Well, that's Con Air, everybody, and you know what we do here. We reach into your childhood nostalgia, pull the movies from your past out to see if they truly hold up. Today, we decided Con Air does hold up. And go watch it with some friends. So, Kyle, what do we have planned next?
Armageddon is up next with our friend George. So stay tuned.
That's right. In 2 weeks, you can hear us talk about the legendary Bruce Willis movie, Armageddon. Still in the 90s, still those action movies. George Howard Adams will be joining us. This time, you can be assured of that. I can't wait to hear his opinion on this. And for now, enjoy the summer blockbusters. We'll see you in 2 weeks with Armageddon.